been meaning to film this video for such a long time. Today I'm going to give you guys an update house tour to show you where we are at with our renovation. Quite a lot has changed since I last took you guys around, but little disclaimer, this is not a finished project. It has come a long way, but there's still quite a few things that we still need to do. So if you guys haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can follow along with all the other projects that we have to finish off this house. In case anyone is new here, we moved into this 80s bungalow in January of last year, so 2022. It's been just over a year. I did want to film this on the 1-year anniversary, but we just have way too much stuff going on. So quite a lot has changed over that 1 year. I'm gonna take you guys around, show you what it's looking like now, and just kind of talk you through some of the things that have changed since we moved in. So I'm gonna take you out into the hallway because I feel like that's the most logical place to start, what you kind of see as soon as you walk in the door. So this is the hallway. This is what you see as soon as you come into the house. Just a little reminder of what it looked like before. Wallpaper, orange carpet, Artex ceilings. It was very, very dark and dingy in here, but it is an absolutely amazing space. One thing that we love about the layout is you kind of come in the front door, you kind of have your lounge, kitchen on one side, and down the hallway is where all of our bedrooms are. So it's very much kind of like split living. The bedrooms aren't like on the same side of the house as our living areas, and we personally absolutely love that. In terms of stuff that we've done to this space, there's the obvious of just like stripping the wallpaper, painting it, painting the ceilings. We've run this kind of oak laminate floor throughout the whole kind of living area and the hallway. And on this left-hand wall, when you come in, we did this kind of like coat hanging system with a little bit of paneling, just to kind of bring in a little bit more detail. So we wanted to make this nice little like entryway moment so people could hang their coats, put their shoes on, nice little bench to kind of perch on there. And we absolutely love how that's turned out. On the right, we built this DIY radiator cover, which I have to say is probably the most controversial project I have done since we moved into this house. I got a lot of backlash for this, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people said that this was not a wise move to put a radiator cover on a radiator. I'm gonna kind of like burst that bubble right here because loads of people have radiator covers, they're absolutely fine. This does not trap in heat whatsoever. There are plenty of gaps to let the heat come out. This hallway is still super cozy, super warm. There is no thermostat inside there that would affect the performance of the radiator either. So if you are looking to do a really budget-friendly kind of DIY cover, then I would say this is definitely a good way to do it. But we just have this kind of mirror above it as well, so you could check yourself before you leave the house, chuck your keys there when you come in. Yeah, just making the space a little bit more functional. One of our favorite things is this hallway cupboard. So I did a whole kind of makeover on this. We painted it all dark, we put in some hangings, some shelving for our shoes. It's such a good practical space, and it's something that we didn't have before we moved into this house as well. So hallway cupboards always get a thumbs up for me. So like I said, you go left, we go into the lounge, or straight forward through this glass door into our kitchen. I'm gonna take you guys into the lounge first and show you what that's looking like. I'm probably gonna say this about a lot of the rooms, but this is one of my favorite rooms in the house. This lounge is such a good entertaining space straight off of the kitchen. So little flashback of what this was looking like before. Obviously wallpaper, I'm pretty sure every single room in this house was wallpaper when we moved in. The orange carpet ran throughout here. The most interesting features was probably the big kind of brown glass walkway feature, and also the orange brick fireplace situation as well. A lot brown, a lot of beige, a lot of Artex. It was all going on. So it's obviously very different now to what it was like when we moved in. We've kept it super neutral and simple in here. That's very much our style. We have painted everything white, including the brick fireplace in here, and it has completely transformed the room. We love the brick. We always wanted to keep it and just give it a little bit of a facelift. It adds so much texture into the room. It's a really nice kind of focal point. We love that you don't see the TV as soon as you walk in the room. It's actually tucked away in this little kind of nook right next to the fireplace. There was originally a gas fire in here, which we didn't like and personally wouldn't really use, so we actually had that removed and capped off, and we have just gone for this kind of like open fireplace. Again, we wouldn't really use like a wood burner or anything like that. It is actually set up that you could install that, but knowing that this property is more of an investment for us than a home, we wanted to keep it kind of like as an option for people moving in. If they did want to install something, they can definitely do that. For me, the best part of this room is definitely this kind of wall here, which is what you see when you walk in. So we panelled this wall with MDF. So these are just MDF planks, which we used adhesive nails to attach them to the wall, painted them white, and we have continued that all the way through into the dining room, which I will show you guys in a minute. I just feel like adding this paneling helped make it more cohesive between the lounge and the dining room, and it just adds that little bit more detail. It's unique, and although this is still like a very white neutral space, it's just adding that little bit more detail to the room, which it didn't have before. One thing I get a lot of questions about is the sofa. So we went for this L-shaped sofa from Sofa Club. I genuinely think for the style and the size of this sofa, the price was amazing. I think it was like just under £1,000. And I get a lot of comments asking, is it worth it? Is it as comfy as it looks? And yes, we love it. We've even actually gotten like stains and stuff on it, and they lift off really, really easily. So I know it's not the most practical with the light color, but it's actually really easy to clean. We normally kind of have like a protective blanket over this because dogs. Yeah, we absolutely love this sofa. I love the detailing on it. It definitely has that kind of like linen-y look, but a far more kind of practical fabric to have for a sofa. And then we've just sewn this area off with a nice kind of neutral rug and a nice big round coffee table as well. The coffee table was actually a DIY from a table and a plant pot. So we've tried to, where possible, kind of like upcycle and reuse as much as possible, but then there are certain items like the sofa where we did buy new. These frames on the back wall are also a DIY job as well. So if you're on the lookout for big kind of statement art pieces that don't cost very much at all, I will link that video. I have actually done videos for pretty much all of the rooms in this house. So if you're curious as to how we did certain things, different product links, things like that, I will try and link all of the videos down in the description box so you can go check out the process in full detail. This room definitely needs a little bit more attention in terms of like furniture. It's not completely finished. We need to do a bit of work to the fireplace as well, but we're getting there. We're nearly there. So let's go through to the dining room and the kitchen. So the biggest change in this space is probably the fact that there was originally a wall right here. So the kitchen and dining area were actually separate when we bought the house, and the wall between them was like paper thin. It came down pretty easily. So we obviously had that checked out to make sure it wasn't structural, which, no shock, it wasn't. So like, we basically just blew through that wall. We absolutely love the way that this has changed living in this house, from having everything so segregated and separate to blowing it all through into one big kind of open plan living area. But we still kind of have that separation from the kitchen, diner and the lounge. It's not like a complete open space. We did toy with the idea of putting sliding barn doors in this kind of opening, but to be honest, after living in here for a little while, we just kind of like the way it is. Definitely an option in case someone moves in and does want that separation, but for us, this works pretty well. So let's focus on the dining area first. I mean, no shock, when we moved in, orange carpet, wallpaper, it was looking pretty sad. Same kind of theme as like the rest of the house that you'll see. Obviously, we've just kept it super light, super neutral. We have a mix of like darker tones, wood tones. I've tried to, my style is very minimal, and I've tried to add in kind of like texture and warmth where I can to kind of offset all of the more kind of like harsh, cold, black tones that are in here. So like I said before, the lounge paneling is continued all the way through into the dining room as well, just to tie those two spaces together. We love that it's now like a focal point. When people walk in this room, they instantly look down there. Obviously, again, we've got the oak floor in here to kind of warm up the space a little bit, but we brought in this really nice big oak dining table as well. Actually, I think all of the furniture in this space were upcycle Facebook Marketplace finds. I recommend this to literally everyone, but if you're looking for a really nice dining table, don't spend loads of money getting like a laminate one. Have a look at Facebook Marketplace, find a solid wood dining table that will last you a long time, and just give it a sand, a stain if you want, and honestly, it is so worth the money. I'm pretty sure that dining table cost us £70, and it is like a very large dining table solid wood, so we're pretty happy with that. Same with the chairs. We actually got those for free on Facebook Marketplace, and we just reupholstered them and gave them a lick of paint, and they look brand new. We've gone for more of like a bench seating along the back wall there, just to give us a little bit more space. And obviously I can't forget to mention the light. So the light when we moved in was very, very interesting. Very 80s, very large. I think we actually might still have that in our garage, I can't remember. But we have obviously replaced it with something a little bit more modern, that's kind of more in keeping with the style of the house. I did toy with the idea of putting art on that back wall, but that kind of light just cuts it up. And I think the light is kind of just a piece of art in itself. It's super nice, kind of minimal, modern. You guys know the vibe. Obviously, the Peloton bike will not be staying in here forever. That will be going in the garage. Once it's done, you'll probably see why. Another thing we invested in was really nice big vertical radiators. The original radiator was very much in the way of our kitchen plan, which I'll get to in a minute. So we invested in some really nice kind of tall vertical radiators. We have the same one in the lounge as well, and the heat output is quite high on them. I think my sister is actually going to buy the same one for her house. One thing that you'll probably notice throughout this space as well is that all of our windows have been replaced. So on the outside they are anthracite grey, on the inside we have kept them white just to keep everything light and neutral, and the French doors have been replaced as well. It's, yeah, so much lighter in here and so much warmer in winter as well, obviously. Right, let's swivel around and look at the kitchen. So you guys actually have asked me a few times to do a full kitchen tour and talk you through everything where we've decided to put certain things. If you still want that, comment down below and let me know, because I feel like we're at a point where obviously I can film that video for you guys. I've been kind of putting it off because we've had a lot on our plates, but I'm happy to do like a full kitchen tour because there is just so many different details and stuff to go through. The main kind of focal point of this kitchen is this situation behind me here. Yeah, this is one thing that I envisaged. I definitely wanted as soon as we moved into this house, and so we just kind of had to make everything work around it, and it's worked out so well. But we wanted this nice kind of feature statement wall with the vertical stacked tiles. We have a concealed cooker hood, and we have that kind of open shelving as well. I personally am not a fan of open shelving for practical things like plates and cups and stuff, because they do still get dirty. I would rather kind of keep that stuff in a cupboard or a drawer, but I do love me some open shelving just to add in a little bit of design detail and kind of showcase some kind of decor bits as well. So we've kind of zoned it, so that is like our cooking situation over there. We have our double oven, we have our hob, all our pans and everything are over there. And then more of our kind of prep side of the kitchen is kind of located on this L-shaped kind of peninsula bit. We had bar seating in our last house, so we definitely wanted to incorporate that here. So we've managed to retain some bar seating on the other side of this kind of L peninsula. And yeah, we've just got loads of storage. You'll notice there are no upper cabinets, and that's because we incorporated these big oak cabinets, which kind of act a little bit more like a freestanding unit. So obviously we went for the matte black kitchen. I feel like that's not a huge surprise to a lot of people who've been following me for a while, but I did feel like if these units here were black, I just think it would have closed in the whole room. I think it would have been a bit too much. So we opted to go for a light oak cabinet, which it isn't exactly the same as the floor. It kind of works with the floor, but it's not matchy. So it's worked out really well for us. We have these two units as more like pantry kind of storage, and then the one over here is our integrated fridge freezer. You may notice that there aren't really any plug sockets on the surface, and that's because we have hidden them inside these cupboards. So a lot of our practical appliances like microwave, toaster, like blender, coffee machine, that's all hidden away so that everything's nice and kind of clean. There's no clutter on the worktops. It's easier to clean. It just looks a lot nicer. So anything that's like ugly and practical, we've shoved it in there. And anything that's out on the side is more like nice to have, pretty stuff. So the kitchen is actually from IKEA. So I think we got a pretty good price for it. Again, if you want a kitchen breakdown cost video, I can do that as well. I've done that for one of our bathrooms. But we went for, yeah, the matte black units, oak over here, those kind of inline black metal handles, and then we've gone for a solid laminate worktop. So a solid laminate worktop is a really good option if you want something a bit more high-end than a normal laminate, but you don't want to pay the price of like a quartz, granite, porcelain. So that's kind of like a little compromise that we made, because we did get some quartz worktops quoted for here and it was a lot of money. But I think this kind of fits in really well. It still has that high-end finish, but it was like half the price. And then we've obviously finished things off with like the black tap. We have like a dark grey stainless steel sink. We've got all black appliances. This is actually our first kitchen that we've like fully designed from scratch, so that we've lived in. So it's really nice to have seen this come together and be able to design it in zones that actually work for us and will hopefully work for whoever lives in this house next. Right, I'm gonna take you back out into the hallway through this glass door, which is a relatively new addition. We installed it so it would let in a little bit more light between the hallway and the kitchen. And we're gonna go up the hallway to the bedrooms and stuff. So like I said, when you walk in the door, you turn right and this is where we have all our bedrooms and stuff. So we have quite a long, narrow hallway. What we've done to kind of make this feel a little bit bigger is, again, just keep it nice and neutral, light and bright. We haven't put too much stuff on the walls here because there isn't a lot of wall space, there's just a lot of doors. But we've also added in this really big oak mirror at the end of the hallway, just to kind of reflect back some of the light that is coming in, and it does give the illusion that it's a lot bigger than it actually is. One of the best decisions we made with this hallway is to convert this cupboard over here. So when we moved in, this actually stored a water tank, which was for the heating. We have since had a new boiler, which meant that we didn't need the water tank anymore, which left us this really nice big cupboard that we could use as a laundry cupboard. We were used to having our laundry in our kitchen. Unfortunately, we don't have a dedicated utility space here. That is something that would definitely be on the wish list for the next house. But we were able to move our washer and our dryer out of the kitchen area and put it in this cupboard here. It works so much better. And also having your laundry near your bedrooms really does make a lot more sense. That's where like a lot of your laundry obviously comes from. So like having it in this side of the house makes perfect sense. It's shut away in a cupboard. But I'm gonna take you guys into this room here, which is our main bathroom. So this room is pretty nearly done. This was only done in January. I will show you what it was looking like before. The layout was actually really, really good. We thought the layout was super practical. It's a really, really good sized bathroom, but it was obviously pretty dated, and we actually had quite a few plumbing faults in here as well, where it hadn't been done particularly well when it was done originally. So we basically gutted it all out and had a plumber come in. I have done a whole video of breaking down how much this room cost and everything, so go check that out in case you guys are interested. But we have again gone super neutral in here. We're trying to appeal to a mass market for when we do sell this house. So we've gone for a really nice kind of vertical stack tile. This is the same that we have in our backsplash in the kitchen, and again that's something that we tried to kind of do to keep that continuity and tie certain rooms together. We've gone for obviously just really simple modern fixtures in here. We've gone for the black kind of tapware, but everything is in exactly the same position. We didn't move any of the plumbing, which is a great way to cut down on costs. We personally aren't really bath people, but we did keep the bath in here again, just for selling purposes. We added in this really practical vanity here, loads of storage. Again, it's that kind of like light white oak, which ties in really well with the flooring out in the hallway and the rest of the house as well. Basically just nice kind of clean, simple fixtures. We upcycled a cabinet to put in here because there was this empty space when you walked in the room to the left. So we've added in this cabinet, which is kind of like a little learning cabinet, which is really, really helpful. Flooring wise in here, we went for something a little bit different because the laminate we ran throughout the rest of the house obviously was not appropriate to have in a bathroom. It would not have lasted well. So we've gone for an LVT tile in here. It's not cold like a tile, but you still get the same practicalities of a tile as well. And I love that kind of like stony effect. It looks like a real tile. I'm going to scoot into the room directly opposite, which is our guest bedroom. So this is definitely a dual purpose room because not only is this our guest bedroom, it also doubles up as my office as well. I work fully remote, so I definitely need like a permanent office setup where I can shut myself away. So a little look back to what this room looked like when we moved in. Shock, there was wallpaper in here as well. There was orange carpet, Artex ceilings. yeah, it was not a very welcoming space. We've lived here for over a year and I only moved my office stuff into here literally like 2 weeks ago. I've been working in the lounge pretty much since we moved in. So it's so nice to finally have this space completed and I can have my own little zone. We have had people stay in here, which is really nice and definitely something that we wanted to create. Having moved to Cardiff from Bristol, it means that we still have a lot of friends and family in Bristol, and we definitely wanted just like a nice space for people to come and stay with us, and yeah, make the most of it. So colour scheme wise in here, we've gone super neutral on the walls. We haven't gone white because I think it's a little bit too stark for the bedrooms. Instead, we've gone for this really nice kind of calming off-white. This is Steamed Milk by Rust-Oleum, which we had colour matched at the decorating centre online, and you will see that we have used these in all of the bedrooms just for cohesiveness and just because it's the perfect practical colour. Honestly, now that I have found this colour, I am like wed to it. I absolutely love it. No surprise, in here we've gone super neutral with all of our furnishings. We have a really nice kind of double bed in here. It's a very low profile bed with a metal base. I got it from Wayfair, super affordable. We've just chucked a memory foam mattress on here, some nice kind of simple linen bedding, and then we just put in some touches of these like rusty colours as well, just to give a little bit of personality. For me, that is like the one way that I add colour into a home, is just through soft furnishings, because they're so easy to change out. Even if you want to change them out seasonally, we can kind of change the bedspread, change the pillows out, but everything else is super, super neutral. It is actually a pretty good sized room, to be fair, for a spare room. We've got a really big window that looks out onto the garden. It feels really nice and private. And in this room, I've kind of tried to zone it out a little bit so that the back of the room over here is more of like the guest bedroom bit, but then this part of the room is very much like my office space. So to the left when you walk in, I have this desk. I actually got these desk legs from Etsy pretty recently, so I don't think you guys would have seen this yet. And then the desktop is from IKEA. I have only recently upgraded to an actual proper office chair, and I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I think I struggled finding something that wasn't extortionate, that was cute but also practical. I got this from IKEA. I'll link it down below. I love it. It's so comfortable. It has like lumbar support and stuff, and it is saving my back. So definitely upgrade to an office chair if you're working from home. And then directly opposite my desk, I have this Besta unit, which so much storage, still practical for a room like this because people can put stuff on it when they come over. But yeah, loads and loads of storage in there. We've gone for the light oak again, so it ties back in with like the other oaky tones that we've got going on in the rest of the house. It matches my desk perfectly. We've actually customized this just by putting some cool little feet on it, which are from Amazon. So that's one way to kind of take a cheap piece of furniture from IKEA and just elevate it a little bit. I'm going to stop waffling on about this room. I'm going to take you to the end of the hallway. I'm going to show you Steve's office. There he is in all his glory, working away. Sup? Sup? Sup?
Oh. Hi.
Right, so this was another room that we did beginning of this year. We actually did a mini makeover when we first moved in and then remade this over recently. So when we first moved in, again, wallpaper everywhere, Artex ceilings, orange carpet, was very kind of dingy, brown windows. There was actually like some really big built-in furniture here, which was actually in pretty good nick, but it kind of limited to how we used this space. So we ripped that out and obviously redid everything. We've got Rust-Oleum steamed milk on the walls. So again, with this space, this is Steve's office. So you'll see he has like a really big desk set up. Steve also has his own YouTube channel, so he does filming in here. So hence why there's like cameras, microphones, lighting and everything. He has like a really big desk set up in here, which is really important for him, but we also wanted to make sure this room was multi-purpose, so we added in this IKEA sofa bed, which means if we have multiple people staying over, we can like pull this out into a double and have more people stay in this room as well. We actually had a custom cover put on this IKEA sofa. We found it on Facebook Marketplace. It was brown, so we didn't want a brown sofa. We got this custom cover on Etsy, which has made it look so much better. So as you'll be able to see with all the football shirts and stuff, this is very much like Steve's room. So those are actually in the background of his filming setup. I'll show you what it looks like because we have kind of like lighting and stuff going on in here, so that when he films it looks a little bit more, I don't know how to explain it,
Aesthetic.
But again, although this is very much Steve's room, decorated to his taste, it's still super neutral. I feel like anyone coming into this house to buy it will be able to look at it as like a bit of a blank canvas. Got the same carpet in here as we have in the guest bedroom and our master bedroom. Same paint colour, nice, neutral, bright. This is actually kind of more at the front of the house. So we have like some weird kind of window sizes in here, but this room does get a lot of light. Right, I'm going to take you across the hallway to the last room of the house, which is our master and our ensuite. Right, I told you guys I was going to say this a lot, but I think this is my favourite room. I don't know, I can't choose. This is another room that we redid at the beginning of this year. So when we moved into this house, I'm going to sound like a broken record, wallpaper, orange carpet, Artex ceilings, brown windows, you guys know the vibe. It was not the one. We actually did a little baby makeover when we moved in, so this room was very much a sanctuary throughout this whole like renovation process, and I would definitely recommend that. But we have since redone it. I think the main kind of feature of this room is obviously this kind of like built-in wardrobe, chest of drawers setup. We actually managed to reuse the wardrobes that were already in here. They were like a horrible orangey wood colour before. We've painted them out, we've reconfigured the setup so it works so much better, and we've managed to do this kind of built-in situation with the drawers in the middle, our TV above it. We painted the wardrobe situation out in the same colour as the walls. We actually added some paneling detail to that back wall as well. Like I said before, we definitely tried to kind of marry up certain features that are used elsewhere in the house. So we added a little bit of detailing on that back wall, painted it all of this the same colour as the walls, just so it was a little bit monochrome, but then added this wood top just to add a little bit more warmth in as well. And then obviously the bed, we've got this big king size bed from IKEA. This is the mound bed, and we went for like a really statement kind of black bed frame, which it's very much our style. It just ties in well with the rest of the house. As a little kind of space-saving hack, we went for floating bedside tables. Again, these are pretty affordable. They're like a flat pack floating bedside table which are attached to the wall, and it means that we can still use the drawers from under the bed and the bedside tables don't get in the way. We went for an oak just to add a little bit more warmth into this space, and it ties in really well with the oak used on top of the chest of drawers as well. And then through this door over here we have our ensuite. So when we moved in, it was pretty dated. There were issues as well, like the shower didn't work, the toilet didn't work. So that's actually the first bathroom that we did in this house. So we've gone for this really neutral kind of white cementy style tile, and we've gone for a huge walk-in shower. We did toy with the idea of doing a bit more of a wet room style in there, but I'm glad that we went for a shower tray over a tiled floor because it is so much more practical and easy to keep clean. One of my favourite additions is the shower niche that we added in. Super practical, it looks so nice, and then we finished it off with a nice kind of big glass screen. We deliberately wanted one that didn't have a frame on it just so it looked big, open. And then obviously we went for the black taps and the shower. We used the same IKEA vanity hack in here as we did in our main bathroom. Instead we went for a black vanity instead. I just felt like it tied in with this room a little bit better for what I had envisaged in here, and with the black bed frame as well, I thought it would just look a bit better. And we've also used the same IKEA mirror that we've used in our main bathroom. So you will see obviously there are some similarities with our ensuite and our main bathroom. The colour schemes are very light and bright with the black kind of tapware and stuff, but they very much have their own kind of style as well. The only other areas I haven't shown you is obviously like the exterior. I will not give you a full-on exterior view of the house, to be perfectly honest, just for security reasons. And the garden, it needs some love. I'll show you what it's looking like, but we haven't really done a lot to the garden, if I'm being perfectly honest. We are definitely waiting for spring to roll round to be able to tackle that. And the only other area as well is the garage. It's embarrassing at the moment. It is so cluttered. We need to have a sort through, but the garage will also be getting a full-on declutter, but also a makeover in the near future as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed because we're at a really good point with the house, but we still have a lot to do. There's definitely going to be a lot of like small snaggy kind of things to tick off the list as well. But like I said, all the videos for the rooms that we have done previously will be linked down in the description box below. So if you do want to go check out how we did a certain thing, how we upcycled a certain thing, or where links for things are from, then they're probably most likely in those videos. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and the tour of our very nearly finished renovated bungalow. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.